go first?
Sure. What are you seeing from Kansas State, Coach? What they do defensively?
A lot of similarities to our guys. Really fast, physical group, going to be in the right spots. I think they're really, really well coached. Got a few guys over there that have played a lot of football. So I think they have some maturity over there in some key spots. But I just think overall really a talented group and a team that plays well together, So, you're going to have to go earn everything against these guys.
What's a good comp for Max? Like somebody to compare him to.
A good comp. It's a good question. He's got a little flavor of the Taysom Hill kid, I think, just with some toughness and the way he can create with his feet. And then throwing the ball wise, that's a good question. I don't know if I have a comparison off the top of my head, but a guy that's definitely improved, right? We've all seen. I think he's just made strides on his own and has just kind of come together, nicely. But yeah, Taysom Hill would be one of the first ones I'd probably say.
Someone told me Bucky Richardson. I don't know if you go back that far.
I don't know if I go back that far. No.
What are some of the improvements that you've seen from Max, just from even in fall camp to where he is now?
I just think really the biggest thing is he'd probably tell you the same thing. It's just all about repetition. He's just gotten a lot of reps at doing the same things over and over again. And, he's done what he's needed to kind of formulate his own confidence by doing that. I just think that's the biggest thing. And what you're seeing right now is a guy that's playing confidently, and is kind of making decisions probably a little quicker. I think that's the biggest deal. And so, mechanically or skill set wise, it's nothing that we've done at all. That's all him. I just think it's just having some comfort in doing things over and over again.
So you guys moved Avila from center to guard. He's like a mid-season AP All-American. Why? Is it because he pulls really well, but he's also left-handed center? So were those factors?
No, not really. It was really more of how do we fit the best five, how do they kind of gel together, and just right now we feel like Alon, has got a lot of comfort and reps and experience with us and what we're trying to do and accomplish offensively. So having a guy like him that can just be a center and then having Steve right by him, we feel just kind of gives us the best equation up there. So that was really the biggest thing was how do you fit those guys well together? And that this kind of made the most sense.
All right, so what does make Steve a mid-season All-American?
Yeah, the guy's just really, really smart. He's physical. He can finish. A guy that's really good in space for his size. I think just that speaks to his athleticism and want to. If he gets in space and has to get up on a guy, that's hard to do in an O-lineman's body, right? Mm-hmm. And so I just think he's athletic enough to do that, and I just think that's what probably separates him from a lot of people that are kind of his same size or his stature.
Somebody was talking about the offense yesterday, and there's really no panic. And it's kind of unique for you because you're a younger coach, and some coaches would panic and do some things that really maybe they shouldn't do offensively. You guys are down 2 touchdowns, but y'all didn't panic, stayed with the system. How do you not panic in that situation, and how do you just keep making the right calls?
Yeah, I don't know about all the right calls. We got really good players, right? But I don't know. I just feel like we have a lot of comfort and confidence in ourselves. We have confidence in our system that whether you're up or whether you're down, if you just kind of just stay with it, stay the course, that good things are going to happen. And so we just always have that approach. And I think our team, offensively speaking, I think we've got a lot of guys that are even keel type players. And I think that was critical for us in that game of, just like you said, not really getting too high or too low, of just understanding if you stay the course, it's going to be enough. And so that was great to see. We're never going to panic. I just think if you do that as a coach, your players are going to feed off of that, and all of a sudden you're in a bad situation. So, yeah, hats off to those guys the other night, with that approach.
Did you get a sense when you got over here that this offense could be successful as it is right now with the players y'all had coming back?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. We got here in spring and was really able to see firsthand kind of what we had, and we're sitting there thinking, well, shoot, we've got some O-linemen, we've got some running backs, we've got some quarterbacks, we've got some receivers. I think we're going to be in a position where, if they come together and have a lot of belief in what we're doing, we got a chance to have a really special group, So you kind of sense it early on. You never know until you actually go out there in a game and go in a battle with one another. But early on in the spring football and fall camp and summer and all that, as coaches, you're kind of sitting there saying, heck, we got a real chance.
Oh, go ahead.
Garrett Riley made some really big plays on
Yeah.
Saturday. How valuable is he to this team?
Yeah, very. He's one of those guys you just get more and more confident with. His skill set's really, really good. He's playing well. Again, he's a guy that you put him out there in any situation, run, pass, fourth quarter, first quarter, whatever the circumstances are, he's a guy that just doesn't panic. That's what I like the most about him. He's very confident player. And then obviously with his size and some of the things that he can do, he's a real weapon. So, yeah, it's great to have him, really show up in some big ways the other night. Was happy for him.
So I guess Joel Klatt picked up on Max's story finally the other day, and his story's great. I mean, it deserves the attention. Just what example does Max set for the rest of the team?
Yeah, it's huge. I mean, everybody knows kind of the circumstances that he had just coming into this season alone, and then all the history and all the experience and all the snaps he's played here at TCU, and to have a guy, just kind of fight through adversity and stay the course. Once again, it's kind of the slogan for the day. But, man, just what a professional approach he had. And yeah, I mean, like we've kind of told everybody, it's if that guy can do it, then everybody else should do that. And so if everybody kind of has that approach and that mindset, then all of a sudden you got a special culture, And so I just think he really set that for us early on in this season. No question about it.
Is it nice to see Quentin getting the kind of production that you guys felt like he would get coming into this season?
Yeah, proud of Quentin, the way he's stepped up and played the last 2 weeks. He's been a force to be reckoned with. And again, it was not a lot of panic early on in terms of production or anything. Knew that his time was going to come and he's going to have one of those games where he just kind of explodes and opens up for him. But yeah, he's just a relentless worker. So we just felt like it was going to happen, and it did. And so now it's just we got to remain consistent, right? And that's just everything. But the thing that's done for us the last couple of weeks is, early on, all these other guys are having to make quite a few plays, and now you kind of got Quentin rolling and having a lot of production here as of late, and so it's just kind of taking some pressure off the other guys naturally. But I think just the more we can continue to distribute the football to a lot of people, it's just going to make us a well-rounded team. So we're going to have to do that moving forward.
Well, the best catch of the whole game was Kendry's catch. Well, and Wiley's leaping catch, but Kendry's catch on that drive was
Yeah, on the
high
check
throw,
down.
and
Yeah, on the
that was
check down. It's a
good.
big play. Yeah, it's a big play. He had opportunity to probably just go out of bounds. We had plenty of time, but he kind of said, screw that. I'm going to go downhill and run through this guy. So that was a big play, no question.
Seems like that's all he says.
That's about all he does. Yeah, that's okay.
Is there anything for you, Coach, as a play caller when you face a team like Kansas State that likes to use clock management? Kleiman's not – I mean, he obviously knows your offense is good. Does it change the way you plan to call a game when you know maybe the possessions are going to be limited?
Yeah. I mean, you got to have a correct approach, when you play that style of defense and just their style as a program, right? So, yeah, it's going to change you potentially on some things and how you view the game and how you view possessions. So we're going to, they're not an option team, but it's kind of like when you're facing an option team a little bit. You better maximize the possessions that you get.
It's pretty interesting